Hi, I'm in a different position today to lead you through a little bit of a wrist strengthener. I have many clients who really need this type of strengthening in their lives. We spend so much of our time on computers with our hands in this position, our wrists in a nice straight line. Maybe we're even driving. Okay, so our hands are never flexed. Okay, we never have our hands flexed. So when I have clients that I ask to go down and do mountain climbers or planks on their hands or anything like that, they're always saying that their wrists are really sore and I see people shaking their hands like this all the time. Okay, that's a good way to warm up actually. So while I'm talking, we'll just shake our wrists, shake our hands. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start to do some strengthening. So this is something that you can do anytime, anywhere. So if you are working from home, you can stop and do this, every couple of hours. If you're at work, you can do the same thing. There's a few things I would like you to try to have available if you can. Okay, so I have a squishy ball, so it's fairly big and squishy, but if you don't have one, that's fine. You can always use just a rolled up towel. Okay, it's the same thing, squishes the same way, right? Okay, also you can have a small squishy ball. This is actually a lacrosse ball, but you can still squeeze it. It doesn't squish very much, but you can still squeeze it. Everybody has those little stress balls on their desk, right? So just, grab that. They're there for a reason, not just for stress. They're good for strengthening as well. And lastly, a small weight, or even if you don't have a small weight, a soup can or anything like that that you can hang on to that we can use for weights. So let's get started. So let's just start with the squishy ball. And all we're going to do is squish it and release it. But you see when I squish it, how my wrist is also engaged with that. I've got quite a bit of light on there, so hopefully you can see that. So we're just going to squish it and release. Squish and release. You can go back and forth. Squish and release. Okay, so if you don't have a ball, squish your towel. So we want to strengthen our hands as well as our wrists. Okay, so squeeze and release. Okay, so back and forth. So that's one that you can do. That works really well. Same with your little ball as well. So you just get a little bit more into the hand instead of just fingers. This one's really good for fingers. This one's good for the hands. But see, your wrist is actually engaged as well. Squish, squish. So I'm not just talking about a light little squish. I really want you to squeeze as hard as you can. Okay, so those are a couple of things. The next one that I like to do is up and down. So if you have something to hold on to, that's great. A broom handle, okay, anything like that. You're going to start just going up and down using a broom handle, okay? So up and down or nothing at all. Now I'm holding because I want you to brace your wrist, okay? So make sure that it's just not up and down. You want to make sure you're holding on so you're isolating that wrist. Then you can go side to side. Okay, if you have a broom handle, you can go up and down, or side to side. Okay, so let's do both hands, up and down. So you can easily sit at your desk and do this if you work from a desk a lot. Okay, and side to side. Okay. So how often do you move your wrists like this? Mostly they're like this, right? So now this gets a little bit harder with the weight. Okay, up and down with the weight. Gradually get into the weight. Okay, don't go full bore and you do not want heavy. You want nice and light. This is 3 pounds and that is quite a bit. And you want to support your wrist when you're doing this. Up and down, and then side to side. Okay? And let's do the other side, up and down. So you can do this for as long as you want, or if you just want to do a few seconds like I'm doing right now, just as your demonstration, side to side. Okay? All right, so there's those. Now you can do these anytime as well. So we're going to actually put our hands down like we're going to hold a plank or do a mountain climber. Okay, so we're going to just put our hands down and we're just going to lean into that and back. Okay, so lean into that and back. Okay, lean and back. And then bring those hands, your fingers facing in, and just lean into that and relax. And relax. So open up those arms, press into it. Open up the fingers too. Press down with those fingers. And down. All right, let's go out to the side. So press into it and back. Bending those elbows and up. Okay? Bending those elbows and then pressing up. So you want the wrists to move. Okay? And then lastly, this one is hard, and be careful. You don't want to go too much too soon. So press. And again, you're just putting as much pressure as feels good. Okay? We don't want to hurt. We want to just straighten and stretch. Okay? So you can do those, or if those are too much, then of course, do just pressing with the other hand, so stretching it out and then pressing it down. So you can end with this one, or if those ones on the floor were just too much, this one's a good one to do too. Okay? So this is your stretching part. So you're going to use the balls or the hand towel and the weights as your strengthening part. Lots of people think, oh, if their wrists hurt, it's because they're not strong enough. But lots of times it's not because they're not strong enough. It's because they don't bend that way. They haven't been meant to bend that way for so long because we're not in that position of flexed. Okay, so if you can, try to flex your wrists, and then you can come down. So flexing is going to get that strength in your wrist, but it's also going to get the flexibility. Okay, so there you go. There is just some quick little things you can do to help strengthen and stretch those wrists out, because we do live in a society where our wrists don't move a lot when we're on that keyboard or on that mouse. So remember, do that. And, oh, that feels excellent. Let's do some circles with our wrists as well. Okay, so all sorts of things you can do to make sure that your body is healthy, head to toe, including the wrists. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.